Great morning, everyone. I was wondering if I would even be able to be on today. It took a minute to connect, but y'all gotta forgive me. I'm trying to be like Maxine Waters and reclaim my time. This hour of daylight savings time is really something. But I'm gonna get into today's topic. What I would like to know, okay, let me start like this. I posted probably like 2-3 days ago on our page, on our Facebook page, Marriage Mondays with the Kings. I posted about this couple who worked together, and over a 3-year time, they are debt free. And it was $162,000 worth of debt, like a house worth of debt that they worked together to get paid off or pay off so they could become debt free as husband and wife. And so it made me think about, what is it that husbands and wives work on together to accomplish in their marriage? That right there, $162,000 worth of debt, I believe is an awesome thing. But what is it? Because what I've noticed and kind of realized is, of course, the main objective of the enemy, of the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him or her, whatever it is, that's spirit, is to ensure that husbands and wives, anything that God has created, is to ensure that it doesn't go well. It doesn't go as God intended. And sometimes we as husbands and wives, many times, can fall into that trap. And so what I was thinking about is, when we work together as husbands and wives to accomplish, good morning, Manita, as husbands and wives to accomplish things in our marriage, then we don't have time to be arguing and fussing and fighting. Now, you have some people that are just argumentative. That's just who they are. I don't even debate with those type of folks. You just want to fight because you're angry and all this other kind of stuff. But being husbands and wives, we would think that no, if we are focusing on a goal together, because the word of God does say, the Bible does say, we are no longer two but one flesh, so we have to work together as one to meet goals. My question is, what goals do you have? Just like running a business, running an organization, whatever the case may be, you have to have short-term goals and long-term goals. So what are your short-term attainable goals as married individuals? When you work together and you start learning how to move in unison as one, then that's when your marriage benefit. You begin to understand that this is my partner. My husband is my partner. My wife is my partner. They have my back. You know what I'm saying? You begin to want to know how you can do things at a greater level as being married individuals. And some even, good morning, Andre, some even go to the point to where you dig deeper into the word of God to say, okay, how does this apply to my marriage? What is it that I should be doing? But what is your short-term goal in your marriage? I noticed, okay, so I'll go ahead and let y'all know. Because I said it, I think, one time before. God had gave me a vision, and he told me in my vision that, because I was asleep, I was knocked out, and when I woke up, my husband knows this certain look that I have. I don't, have them often, but when me and my husband start working together on one accord, that is when things were going, God was going to bless us even the more, because we were so focused on always being right. We were so focused on always arguing, keeping tabs and things like that. We were not focusing on goals. So I remember when I talked about this before, I had mentioned Habakkuk 2:2, where paraphrasing, it says, write the vision and make it plain upon tablets, and then it continued to go. What vision do you have in your marriage? What goals do you have in your marriage? It could be something small, because see, what we tend to do is we trick ourselves and say, okay, I'm going to pay off this we're going to pay off this $250,000 worth of debt. But there is no plan or nothing in action in order to make that happen. There is no conversation to say, okay, we both need to cut back on spending or whatever the case may be to make that happen. It's not happening. It's not going away. Even in your single life, what is your goal? Good morning, Ebony. Florida, right? What is your goal? What goal do you have? Because what I come to find out and realize in marriage, because me and my husband were in a place of complacency, where our marriage was stagnant, where we just did the just day-to-day type situation or whatever. And that's when the enemy was really busy and got to kick up in our marriage, and we allowed him to kick up in our marriage. It's because we got complacent. But when me and my husband start setting goals, your goal could be, say that you have a child. that's struggling in school or whatever. I love you too, Ebony. That's struggling in school or whatever the case may be. And the parents are frustrated. That's a frustrating thing. And, you know, when you're trying to do everything to ensure that your child succeeds, this could be a goal, an example. Because I wanted to bring examples of goals. And I would love it if you're married. Drop some of your comments below about what some of your short-term and long-term marriage goals are. Even if you're single, what is your short-term goal? What is your plan of action that you are sticking to ensure that you accomplish that? So anyway, back to having a child that's struggling in school, whatever, that could be just detrimental. It could be to the point where the husband and wife is arguing, you blaming each other, or whatever the case may be. And your goal could be, we gonna help this child get through this year of school. It's 9 more weeks of school left. We're going to help them get through this year's school. What is your goal? Do you have any? And see, the thing is, we could have goals all day, but if we're not walking it out, you see what I'm saying? So maybe your goal as a married couple is, yeah, I'm trying to make it to our next wedding anniversary without choking out my spouse. I mean, not choking them literally, but you know what I'm saying? Without leaving my spouse. Or we're trying to make it to the next wedding anniversary without arguing. It's something small, because you have to take the small steps. And what you realize is when you take those small steps and you accomplish that in what you set out to accomplish, you feel so much better because you both did it together as a couple. So what is it that you're doing? If we do not have a plan of action, what is your plan of action? You know, and then when you accomplish that, are you giving God the glory? Are you giving God the glory to say, you know what, we made it another year. God, for that, I thank you. You know, we give everybody else the glory when we meet our goals, but we never give God the glory, and God's the one that's kept us and brought us through it. So what is it that you're doing? So I'll go ahead and open up me and my husband some of our short-term goals right now. Well, our long-term goal is to graduate college. We have 4 more semesters and we will be done with the master's program in marriage and family therapy that God has set us on this path to do. Our short-term goal, some of our another long-term goal is to completely be debt-free yet again. And this time when we be debt free, we are not trying to go back into debt for nobody. You know, he's no longer in the military, so we don't have to worry about the circumstance that came about that put us in debt the last time. But we, you know, that we had to, you know, use cards and stuff like that. Our short-term goal right now is trying to help one of our sons get through this next 9 weeks. That's why I brought that up. What is your goal? And do you feel accomplished when you meet it? And once you meet that goal, do you set out for another goal? You know what I'm saying? Do you have your goals wrote down on paper, or is it just in your head? Is it a goal of the husband and the wife to say, you know what? I want to love my husband. This is just me, because this was one of my goals in the past, and it's still a goal of mine. I want to love my husband at a deeper level. I want to appreciate my husband at a deeper level. Do you do that as individuals, and then you come together? Because I'm telling you, you cannot synchronize as a husband and a wife. You cannot synchronize as a couple if you do not have goals that's taking you in the same direction. Do you know what God's plan is for your marriage? Have you ever thought about things like that? I know for me, I tend to go really deep. That's just my mindset. I think about things that other people don't think about. But if you haven't thought about this, I encourage you to sit down with your husband or your wife and write out some short-term and long-term goals. Now, one thing that I spoke about, it was in December of last year, is go ahead and prepare for your 2018 by writing down your goals. How many people actually did that? Where are you? Are you hitting the benchmarks that you need in order to ensure that you meet your goal in your marriage or meet your goal as a single individual? You know, nothing is more better. I'm telling, especially when it comes to coming out of debt. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got, or prime example, you could have a small goal to say, my goal is to do what I need to do to pay off this car note because I want to be debt free when it comes. I don't want a note or whatever the case may be. Because when you get to that point, some people will pay off a car note and then they'll jump into another car. But most people, when you tired of being in debt, you like, you know what? Because right now my husband's like, oh, baby, you know, I want to get you this new, this and this and this. Baby, I want to upgrade your ring to a... I ain't even that type of person. I'm cool with the ring I got. It fit on my, you don't have to upgrade nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because if we don't have, this is just my mindset, because I was always taught that if you don't have it and you can't pay cash for it and you can't save up to get it, you don't need it. So if we don't have that $25,000 that's sitting in the account with some additional, I don't want to wipe out our savings just so I can upgrade and I can brag about an upgrade. I don't want it. You see what I'm saying? And my husband know how I am. I'm not that typical, not trying to say typical female, but I'm not that typical female where I got to get a piece. I already got some ice on my finger. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? And so just like with our goal right now is to pay off our notes. We have, you know what I'm saying, 2 quarters. We're trying to pay it off. And so he's like, oh, yeah, you know, I want to get you this. What is it? I think it's a 2018 Lexus or something. No, sir. No, sir. As long as the vehicle that we got get us from A to B and we have a dependable vehicle for when we need to get on the road because we live away from our homes where we were born and raised, I don't want it. I'm good. I'm good. How many of y'all can actually say that? Because for me, I'd rather have that money in the account for in the event that something happens emergency wise and we have to use, instead of using a credit card to go into debt. So and so know this, like I said earlier, when you're working together as individuals, when you're working together as a couple, not having an individual mentality towards your goals, that's when you put them blinders on that I was talking about earlier this week or last week. You put them blinders on and you're not worried about, like they say in the country, you're not studying about whatever anybody else got to think. Because baby, one thing that when you're trying to meet your goal as a couple, husband and wife trying to meet you ain't worried about what people say about you bringing your lunch to work. You always bringing your lunch. Well, yeah, you always buying your lunch. So let's add that up. Baby, I'm telling you, when it come to me and Mr. King meeting the goal, can't nobody make us feel bad because I will get you up off of me. Remember how we used to play the Dirty Dozens in school? Oh, what? Y'all don't have no, you never go out to eat. Y'all don't have no money to go out to eat. I see you. Then that's when people be sizing you up and counting your coins in your pocket. I see that vehicle that you drive. I see that purse that you carry. Baby, I got this vehicle in this purse because I saved up my coins. You see what I'm saying? So don't make me feel bad, because if you add up that $8, $9, $10 that you spend just for lunch every day, plus your $7 caramel macchiato, whatever, baby, at the end of the day, for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you to spend $30 to $40 a day. You see what I'm saying? Now, I need you to multiply that by how many work days we have in a week. I can get people up off of me. But I just encourage you, what is your goals? Do you have short-term goals written down? I don't care if you married and all the kids is out the house. Do you have a goal? Some of the people my friends that I know that they're married and all their children out the house, their goal is to pay off their house. They don't want to have a note for the rest of their life. But see, what we tend to do is we get complacent in our marriage. We get really complacent to the point where you say, well, I got debt and I'm going to die in debt. The devil is a lie. It don't have to be that way. You can research ways to see how it is that both of you can work together to come out of that debt. So what are we doing? I'm just using it as an example. So again, I encourage you, what are some things that you are working on right now? Some goals that you have set? Drop it in your comments if you don't mind sharing the goals that you have set right now for short-term and long-term for you and your spouse. What is it? If you don't have any, write them down. Talk to your spouse. Pray over that thing. That y'all would have y'all will have where y'all will stick to that goal, where you won't sway away from it to where it'll cause further issue in your marriage. So what are we doing to work together as husbands and wives to come together on one accord? What has God told you that you're not doing? Why is it that you're sitting up here going through the same thing over and over again? You sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you actually think that it's your husband or your wife the reason why you keep going through this thing, when it might be your disobedience that's connected to it as the individual. I'm just asking, I'm just throwing it out there. But as I say every day, thank you so much for getting up supporting Marriage Mornings with the Queen. We really appreciate y'all supporting Marriage Mondays with the Kings. This is just something to think about. about. And I pray that if God lays it on your heart for you to drop your marriage short-term and long-term goals, that you will, because it will be a blessing to somebody else. And I want to say thank you to y'all, because when people come on in the morning in the coffee group like y'all do, I love the way that y'all say good morning to each other. Y'all like, each other's good morning and things like that. That is so awesome, because with this, it's bringing us together on one accord, and we haven't even met each other face to face, but we get up every day and we be talking and, chatting back and forth or whatever the case may be. Thank y'all for that, because that's bringing unity. So y'all have a blessed day. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Share this because it's free. And I look forward to reading y'all's comments about the goals that you have. God bless.